What's up, everybody? So, as you know, we live in the real world with real people, many of whom we watch on this very website called YouTube. But there is an alternate world. There is another place that lives in our imagination.
Imagination.
And that is the world of Dungeons and Dragons. What if the world of YouTubers and politicians decided to climb inside of the anus of Dungeons and Dragons? Let's find out, shall we? This is Demolition Ranch. He's a massive gun tuber.
Wow. What? Whoever wins the competition. And this is the gun I picked!
He has a vlog channel called Off the Ranch.
So, we bought an abandoned resort.
And he used to run another channel called Vet Ranch, which is now operated by his sister. We can look at Matt Carricker and we can say, you know what? This guy's pretty badass. This guy seems all right. I like the stuff he does. He seems a little crazy. You could say all of these things. But what do his stats say? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So we're going to move through his new stat list from the top down. Now, for all of his basic stats, we are going to be using a range of -1 to 10. Pretty simple. -1 meaning absolute failure, shouldn't be alive, and 10 being you are the peak of human existence. And as for his skills, we're going to use a 1 to 100 scale. All right, everybody got it? Good. Let's get into it. Now, starting off with Demo Ranch's class. He's a gun tuber. He's a veterinarian.
Homeless little dog, who knows what happened.
A vlogger.
We won. They announced that Roman and I got that W.
Freaking go.
Let's go. So good, so good.
He also owns a clothing company called Bunker Branding.
But you'll see our big sign. It's hard to miss. And there might be a 5-ton sitting out front.
So let's go with content creator and entrepreneur as a subclass. Now, we know his name, so we're just going to skip over that. And then we're going to get to his race. Matt is a human. Congratulations, you've learned something new. His alignment, chaotic good. Demolition Ranch is a chaotic good. Now let me explain why. The man literally spends his days going out, blowing things up, having a great time doing it, all to inspire not only a new generation of content creators, but people to get into the hobby of firearms, explosives, all of that. The reason behind it is obviously our entertainment, but it is not to cause evil. He's a rebel. Chaotic good. His level is 37 because that is how many years he has been on this planet. And of course, his background is entertainer. Now, moving on to his basic stats, starting off with strength. Now, Demolition Ranch is a relatively strong man. He works out consistently. He does tons and tons of physical labor between all of his channels. So he is a very strong individual, but I wouldn't say he's the strongest. For strength, I'm going to give Demolition Matt a 7 because he is not the strongest. He is not the pinnacle of human existence. He is not Hafthor Bjornsson or Robert O'Burst, but he is a hell of a lot stronger than the average person. Just look at the man. For the next stat, we're going to take a look at his agility. Yeah, this one's probably not going to be the highest. I'd say he's more strong than agile. We're going to go with a 4 here. And now we're moving on to Constitution. Now, for those who don't know, Constitution is essentially how resilient one's body is to not only sickness, but also to expending energy, like running long distances, things of this nature. Now, Demo Matt has done many marathons. He also does get sick every now and again. I'm going to say that he is slightly above average, so we are going to give him a 6. I think it's a fair score. Moving on to intelligence, this is going to be a difficult one to grade him properly on. Graduated from veterinary school, he runs multiple successful businesses, all of which would be things that he would have to recall information for. So I think for this, we're probably going to have to give him a mid score. I'm going to say 6. Now moving on to wisdom, I guess we really have to look at how perceptive is Demolition Matt? Does he understand the world around him? Well, he's a firearms owner, and as a firearms owner, situational awareness is a key. He also seems like somebody who would have a pretty good idea of what's going on in the world around him. He seems very perceptive to how YouTube works. He seems very perceptive to how the world around him is working, because all of the things in his life require him to be that way. Having farm animals, having children, they require a degree of wisdom, of perception. Now, to say he's above average in that regard, I wouldn't necessarily go there. But I would say that he is definitely at least within the realm of average, which is why we are going to go with a 6. And moving on to his final baseline stat, charisma. How charismatic is this man? So judging from every interview that I have ever seen involving him or talking about him, or from seeing how fans have engaged with him.
Travis.
Hey, Travis.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. You want to take a picture?
You want to take a picture?
The man seems to be very charismatic. He's a very good speaker.
I want to also say thanks to all the staff who's helped me put this thing on. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you. And I'll see you for the next couple days.
He is likable. So for this, we're actually going to give Matt an 8. I know, high score. And now moving on to Demo Matt's skills. Now remember, these are from 1 to 100. Starting with animal handling. He's a veterinarian, but he hasn't practiced in a while. 85. His politics. Now this isn't who does he vote for, but his core belief systems. And you know what? He sums up his personal beliefs pretty well in Off the Ranch.
We got the potato a kego folato.
Wholesome. 85. And now to athletics. Now, he's a very physically active person, and whatever he seems to put his mind to, he can typically achieve, as long as he works his butt off for it. We're going to give him a 70 here. Now, deception. Now, I believe that pretty much everybody has the capacity for lying, but also you have to look at the history of how honest they've been. It seems that he's been very honest throughout his career, so we're gonna give him a 10. But there's always the possibility. Now, autism. How autistic is Dr. Matt? You don't have that kind of streamlined hyper focus on life without a little bit of tism.
I'm like weirdly obsessed with trailers and think they're really cool and fun.
25. Intimidation. Yeah, this one's just gonna be like a flat 40. I mean, yeah, he can be intimidating, but at the same time, he seems so much more like a teddy bear. Now for investigation. Demo Matt has had many instances of animals coming onto his property and him having to figure out why. And he seems to be actually relatively good at this. I'm not going to say he's Sherlock Holmes, but I'm going to say he's better than the average. We're going to give him a 69. Now we're moving on to performance. Now, if you didn't know this, Demo Matt has a country song. Yes, it's actually quite good.
Meet there in 10, we'll start the fire. Got plenty of wood sparking that lighter.
He has also been in a movie. And let's be real, his entire YouTube career is one giant performance.
Today, we're gonna find out, will a boyfriend stop a 50 cal? Wait, what?
The man gets a 90. Now, how do we feel Demo Matt does with persuasion? Considering he has such a loyal fan base and has so many successful businesses, there has to exist a degree of persuasion here. I'm going to say 70. Now, for religion, Dr. Matt is a Christian. Other than that, not much. I'm just gonna say middle of the ground, 50. Dead center. He doesn't get all preachy, and at the same time, he has his own core beliefs. How good is Demo Matt at hiding?
Headshot! Woohoo!
27. And finishing off his skills, survival. Demo Matt is actually very good in this regard. He has a self-sustaining lifestyle. He has tons of firearms. He has a lot of know-how because his dad raised him to be a worker. I'm gonna give him an 82. Yeah, that sounds right. And now moving on to attacks and spellcasting. Now you might be saying to yourself, Tack, magic doesn't exist. Spells don't exist.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Gotta open your mind, man. Of course, Demo Matt has spells and attacks. The first spell is called Gold 50 Cal. Enough said. His second attack is the Autistic Leap. And his third and final attack is a Memory Wipe. Why do you think we haven't told Mare? We have nothing to tell her. Our brains don't work. Now, for this next section, it's actually going to be very, very quick. His personality traits: kind, compassionate, hardworking, funny, and into explosives. His ideals? Do something today that makes tomorrow better. His relationships: his wife Mare, his 3 children, none of which will be shown here. And his flaws: Demo Matt is excitable. He jumps headfirst into things without necessarily thinking it through. He also sometimes doesn't get things exactly right, and the comments have to correct him. I would call those flaws, but they're not the worst. Now on to physical features. He is 6 foot, Caucasian, with brown hair and blue eyes. There you go. Now, does Demo Matt have any proficiencies? I'd say yes. He can work on vehicles, has a pretty good understanding of those, has a decent understanding of homesteading, has a very good understanding of firearms, and has a fantastic medical understanding of animals. And as for languages that he speaks, well, Demo Matt also speaks Spanish. Kind of. I would say he's proficient, not fluent, but good enough to get by, so we'll add it.
My name is Jeff.
Now, if Demo Matt were to go into battle, right? If we were going to send him to destroy the evil wizard, what would he bring? Well, starting off, we would probably have the Gold 50 Cal. After that, I'm going to say the 5-ton. Demo Ranch can also take into battle a 500 Magnum. Now, mind you, this is one of his least favorite firearms, but let's be real, it's funny as hell. And then the final piece of kit that Demo Matt can take into battle against the evil wizards at the ATF is a plate carrier designed during one of his homemade armor challenges. One of the winners, at least. So do you agree with my list? Let me know in the comments below. And let's be real, that if there was an evil wizard lord at the ATF, Demo Matt would absolutely kick his ass.